Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Actually, welcome to the first podcast. Well, it's the second actually, but it's the first one that made it to actual audio recording.
There was a little bit of a technical difficulty, to say the least, but, I think it was a good learning experience. What do you think?
Well, yes, we learned a lot. First thing we learned is we need to introduce ourselves. I'm Jeff, and he's Aaron.
I thought I'm Aaron, and whatever. All right.
He is Aaron, and I am Jeff, and this is the
Jeff&Aaron Show.
The podcast of all podcasts. The podcast to end podcasting. The blogosphere will explode once you experience the greatness of
The Jeff&Aaron. I don't want to sing. I'm not really. That's not my
Well, we got to work a jingle.
Yeah, we'll work a jingle.
If we had some music, it'd be great. You could do it with the phone.
Yeah, like the Seinfeld.
I could play the music. I could play the music on my phone as we record.
That would be
fade it out.
That would be like the starting point of it, though. Like that's obviously kind of a ghetto setup.
Right. Well, what theme song would you have?
I'm
thinking like Magnum PI. I
can't get the Seinfeld theme out of my head ever since you said music. I don't know why. No, we don't need that though. Maybe like a good classical song. What do you think?
Well, I was thinking Magnum PI because there's literally no one who remembers that.
I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. And you're a millennial.
Yeah.
Okay.
But will everyone else in your generation know what that is?
Yeah, but they're not listening. They're at home shifting through their Perry Como records. Anyway, it's the first show. It's the second if you count the one that didn't get recorded, which happened about 20 minutes ago, which is great.
It was a
stuff.
thing, though. That was the real show. This one will have to do.
So we decided we wanted to do a podcast. The very beginnings of this started when we went to the Dodger game to see the Dodgers and the Nationals play. I don't know what game it was.
NLCS.
Game 4.
Yeah, it was. No. It wasn't even the NLC. It was the NLDS.
DS.
Yeah.
And we won that game.
We won. We won the series. It was a fun time. And then
Aaron had his first cigar on the way.
Well, it was not my first.
10 o'clock in the morning.
It was not my first cigar, okay? It was
It wasn't the first one that actually affected you.
Maybe that's fair to say, I guess.
That you got the buzz, the cigar buzz.
Yeah, well, I thought you had to inhale to get the buzz. That was the thing about that. But anyway, I mean...
You inhale, you'll get the buzz all right.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're already getting it from the secondhand smoke, though. So that might be something to think about.
Well, like I said in the earlier podcast, the only thing that could make this podcast better is if I could light a cigar in here right now.
We will have the setup to do that eventually. I'm confident we're smart enough to figure out what we could do. I mean...
Find a smoking room that we can hotbox.
Can't you just tell the guys who own the building, hey, look, this room is my smoking room. You're going to have to deal with it.
I would love that, but I do have some empty suites that nobody would know.
Nobody would ever go in?
Yeah. So,
okay.
They wouldn't come in and go, who smoked in here? Because that's always the issue.
Okay. That might work.
Yeah, so Aaron and I decided we're going to do a podcast because we think we are funny people and we have a voice and we have enough material to keep an audience listening, to keep an audience interested in what we have to say. So Aaron, please say some interesting things. We are getting a glimpse into the comedy mind of Aaron Friedman.
I write it down every once in a while when I have an idea pop into my head. So that's kind of some of the basis. So I think I have some cool things to say, but I think they would work as stand-up comedy. But if I'm on a podcast, I don't necessarily have to be in front of a crowd of people.
Right.
That's kind of the reasoning that I was thinking.
There's no audience, payoff when it's just me and you, unless you crack me up.
Well, I'm not standing on a stage with 100 people looking at me.
Oh.
That's the nice thing. You have a little experience with that. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, it's the worst night of my life. I got drunk out of my mind.
You could see the tapes on our website. I'm sure we'll be posting that pretty soon.
You will never see those tapes. The only people that have seen those tapes are sworn to secrecy.
Oh yeah?
Yes. And
is your wife even part of the club on that one?
I don't like my wife seeing those tapes because she gives me that look, which you don't know because you're not married. But there's a look that wives give that is altogether shame, disappointment, and wonderment. Like, did I really marry this guy? Who the hell is this?
I can picture it in my head. That's feasible.
You can picture that look?
And I think I've had that look a few times, maybe not in the same context, but maybe when someone hired me for a job. Yeah, actually, probably with you.
I thought you were going to say when somebody like walked in on you in the bathroom in your private time. You've seen that look of shock and shame and disappointment.
I got a whole segment on that kind of stuff, but we're not going to go into the
I can't wait to dig into that. Right. See, just to set the stage, I'm a little bit older than Aaron, and I've had the pleasure of watching him grow up and become a young man. And how old are you now?
Unfortunately, I just turned 25. So
yeah, I'm a Gen X. Am I a Gen X or am I a...
to be honest, all I know is millennials.
Yeah, you're a millennial, but I could be a baby boomer.
There's millennials and the rest. That's
no,
kind of the way.
I think I'm a Gen X.
Gen X. There's Gen X, Gen Y.
Because baby boomers are before me.
Okay.
So I'm 47. You're 20 what?
25.
25. Oh, God.
Part of the reason that, you mentioned our generation difference is I would just have an idea and be like, what was life like before this happened? Or like, how did you live before cell phones?
It was horrible.
One thing I was wondering, like, how do you even like get by on your everyday life?
Oh, God.
Like, I feel like we're so much more efficient now. Like, I can just kind of text you and make up a plan out of the blue. Like, before cell phones, you kind of got to like, hey, we're going to meet here at this time. I'm not going to be able to contact you for another 3 hours because I'm not home. So, like, you have to pre-plan it with today. It's much more accessible.
You might as well send a carrier pigeon with a note attached to its ankle.
Yeah, we don't have to go into the details of it, but that's just kind of, I look to you to see what life was like before.
It is amazing that we have made it as a society to where we are, given the fact that we had to leave a voice message on a machine that anyone could access and listen to. You come home and the light's beeping and mom wants to check her messages. And so there's a message for you in there that gets passed over. So then that message doesn't get to you because it's now not beeping when you come home. And mom doesn't say, oh, by the way, there's a message on the phone for you.
Well, what about the era where when the phone just keep ringing on and on? That was probably before you. They didn't have message machines at one point, I thought, right?
I was a kid in that era.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that the thing is today it's so much easier with everything how it's made, but I think the kind of the elephant in the room is we still kind of suck, right?
Yeah, you got that right.
We have an encyclopedia.
You don't even know what it's like. You want to talk about sucking? You never even heard a busy signal. I was around before call waiting, where you called someone and and you're like, what the hell is this?
You still get busy signals today, though. I don't really know.
No, not very often.
Well, I do make 100 calls a day normally. So
yeah. Well, so anyway, yeah, I guess you would say I'm the wizened sage, and you are the young squire, learning at the feet of the sage. Only I have really nothing to offer you except stupid stories.
You're right most of the time. I'd say 98% of the time you're rambling about nonsense, but you do have some very good insight in that 2%.
I thought you were giving me a 98%.
Oh, you thought it was 2%
Did you see
fluff?
me? I was raising up in my chair like, that's right, I am right 98% of the time.
You're like, hey, this guy's going to talk me up. This is my platform.
That's right. I thought, Aaron really does worship the ground I walk on. And then you said I was 98% wrong.
We just need to harness the 2% of what you say that's good and put it on the show.
That's right. Well, like they say, a broken clock is right twice a day. So
that's one of my favorite quotes.
I'll take my twice a day. So we started this podcast because essentially we think we're funny. We think we are insightful.
We think we're kind of like a peanut butter jelly, kind of a combo that you can't have one without the other, that kind of thing. Mm. And together, they go great. Not.
I would say chocolate and peanut butter those are my two.
Okay, but no one's going to get it if you say chocolate and peanut butter. It's not the same effect, okay?
How about bacon and eggs, baby? We're the bacon and eggs.
That's fair. Well, I do eat turkey bacon, though, so.
God!
That's another
That's another whole segment. Because I tried turkey bacon, and it is disgusting, and it doesn't taste anything like bacon.
I've been reading about red meat, and it's not the best thing in the world. So,
what about like bison or grass-fed?
Bison, yeah, maybe. It's so expensive.
Organic grass-fed.
Bison it's not practical. It's just
but we could talk.
We could talk bison.
We could talk.
We could talk bison.
Ancient
turkey bacon.
worshipped meat sources of the plains all day long, but we must get back to us being funny, us being right 2% of the time, us as in me, you being right in your assessment of me 100% of the time. We just thought, hey, let's put a microphone in front of us and record and let the greatness begin.
And that's what, as I said before, that's why we're not going to try starting live at first. You kind of talked about kind of edit it out, make it sound presentable. We'll be at a much better place. We don't want to be the whole Alec Baldwin of talk radio.
Right. You don't want to be Alec Baldwin, who's, I think the worst. What was it in our first podcast that didn't make it to the air because we failed to hit the record button? We talked about how we're not ready for live right now. That the worst words we could hear are 3, 2, 1, go.
Be funny.
The on-air light comes on and my brain goes off.
That's about the same as me, I think. I mean, at work, the guy keeps telling me, my supervisor, be funny with customers. And it's like, when that's the problem. It's you got to do it in the right context.
You're a comedian, huh? Okay, go ahead. Make me laugh.
Just doesn't work.
You need an audience. Okay, I feel you. Now, so what makes people funny?
That is really interesting that you say that, because there was.
Is it funny though?
Yeah, it's a good discussion. I don't know if it's funny because there's people who say being funny is completely subjective, and I think that's complete BS, honestly. Because if you say it's completely subjective, then no one would have a job, because you could just put anyone on the air and someone says, "Oh, that's funny." I think that funny is actually objective. What do you think about that?
Once I get through the dictionary and find the definitions of subjective and objective, I will get back to you.
All right. Well,
my thoughts on that, but funny is, as Forrest Gump would say, funny is as funny does.
No, I just mean, is funny something that it's in the eye of the beholder, or is there an actual funny that is not necessarily up for debate?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's what I'm saying.
Because there's people that laugh at some crap out there that I think is totally stupid and not funny.
The way I look at it, you're right. There is crap out there. But I think if there's an audience, and this might be some of it.
There's an audience. We're talking to you.
We're like, yeah, there's some crap out there. All right.
And we're listening to it. Or not.
But if you're funny and you have a population a percentage of the population who thinks you're funny, then that's objectively funny, and you are, a
You're
success.
justified.
Yeah, like Jerry Seinfeld. If I'd say a big chunk of the population loves his comedy, he's not just doing this on accident. I
knew Aaron was funny from day one. The day I looked at him, I said, "That kid's funny. Funny looking." No. So, Aaron, one of the times I remember that stands out in my mind with you is riding with Curtis to the softball field.
I
Aaron was in the back seat.
I think I was like 19, probably.
You were young.
You were
young.
43.
Somebody had let something loose in the car.
No.
That was a bodily function that, stunk.
It was, honest to God, it was not anything that was in the car.
I said, "Aaron, did you fart?" And he said, "No, it's the fields."
Well, we were driving next to fields.
Right, we're driving through farm country.
It was a perfect cop-out.
We're driving through farm country. Aaron says, "No, it's the fields."
I think
Curtis and I just rode there for a few minutes, 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's about what I was
And you said?
Well, I call my butt the fields.
Now, see, to me, that's funny.
Well, that wasn't when I first met you, though. So I want to know, the first, inception of your... I don't know. Maybe you don't remember that. That's a little tough.
This is my earliest comedy memory of thinking to myself, this Aaron, he's got it.
And then on another ride, it was the surfer.
The naked surfing. Curtis is all excited. We should have Curtis as a guest at some point. Maybe
brief.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's got the goods.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Curtis, a friend of ours, mutual friend, we get in the car and Curtis says, "Man, I fulfilled a lifelong dream last night."
We thought it was going to be something, major.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what, you read a book? You passed a test. What did you do this thing? And what was it?
It was naked surfing.
At
night.
At night.
That's
midnight.
Right.
He called it midnight naked surfing.
That's right. It's a big difference between naked surfing in the day and night. I think that is worth the distinction.
Yeah, I think handcuffs would be the difference.
Exactly. We don't live in Europe, unfortunately.
For,
if you live in Europe, you can kind of do whatever you want. That's kind of cool. But anyway.
And Aaron said, from the back seat again, what we need to do is get you in the back seat of his truck
Why didn't you ever let me ride shotgun? That's
and record it? I don't know.
I was always in the back, kind of
And
just
from the back
interjecting.
seat, Curtis says, "Oh, I did midnight naked surfing last night." And I said, "Is that a thing?" And he's like, "Oh, everybody wants to do naked midnight surfing." And Aaron says from the back, "Wait a minute. Who got the biggest
Probably a 5-second pause.
pause
Who had the biggest
wave?" Now, I don't know if that's funny, but I was dying.
I thought it was funny.
It is funny. It is funny. It's all about timing. This is the point I wanted to make.
Oh, it's about connections. When you have something like, okay, I'm thinking big. Big waves are cool. Big penises are cool.
Okay.
Well, you know what I mean, cool.
Wow,
I don't like them personally.
We're getting somewhere here with Aaron that we didn't
This is where you got to
expect.
steer me. This is where you got to steer me back. I'm just saying you find a connection and you kind of let it ride. You feel me?
I'm just trying to make the connection of the connections.
Okay.
But it's about timing.
Right.
I mean, if it's not timing, then it's nothing. Wit. It
Wit.
happens.
That's it. Yeah, wit. I think I'm very good at having things pop into my head where that's the problem when I'm in like a business meeting and, we're talking about serious stuff and all of a sudden I got to say something.
14 jokes go through your mind and you're like, this is what I live for.
I kind of file them. All right, this one will get me fired. This one will get me a memo. This one will just have a chuckle. So I got to pick and choose my battles.
How do you control yourself?
Some people have told me.
Because I am a whore for laughs. This is why I never passed a grade in school.
Why shouldn't you be? That's part of life. That makes it more enjoyable.
Yes, but in the long run, I ended up paying severely because I would much rather have the children laughing along with me than follow the rules. So every classroom I was ever in.
So your goal was just to get everyone else off topic.
Yes. That's what I live for. Let me derail this whole meeting right here.
Well, that's kind of a good talent to have.
But back to funny people. Now, what about people who aren't funny but think they're funny? These people really annoy those of us who are funny.
I don't know if it's because they have like one or two friends who kind of perpetuate this idea in their head that they're funny, or if they're kind of just delusional. And I think it may be a little both. What do you think?
Well, I'm trying to examine when somebody's trying to be funny and I find it not funny. What is the difference?
But there's also even more of a layer to it. Like you could say, oh, that was kind of funny, but it just didn't work in the context.
I can see where you were going with that, but it just didn't quite hit it.
Yeah, because there's been times I said, hey, that's actually a funny joke, but because it wasn't delivered properly or maybe people didn't take it the right way, it just didn't work. And
or the timing is off.
The timing, or it has to flow really well too. Like you could be a comedian, you get up there on the stage, and hey, wait,
What's the deal with air conditioning?
Yeah, I mean, if you like George Carlin is someone, he would have a bit, and he would just rattle off like 20 to 30 like lines in a row. He must have rehearsed out like a poem like a million times. Mm-hmm. So the delivery is obviously like a huge factor.
But off the cuff, one-liners. Or, stuff that in conversation that it comes up, like I call my butt the fields,
mm-hmm.
That stuff.
You can't teach it.
Right. And so say something in your delivery in that line, I call my butt the fields, didn't work out. Then would you sit from the back seat and say, hey, guys, I said I call my butt the fields. And Aaron, Curtis and I are like,
am I right?
It just wasn't funny.
Well, there's actually I do repeat myself if I think legitimately it was not heard.
Yes.
But I think, sometimes people will hear it and they won't really think about it. Maybe they're texting or on their phone, whatever. They don't necessarily let it process. So there is a time to repeat yourself.
But is it ever as effective as if it would have dropped on the first offering?
No, it's not as effective.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, man. That's why it's all about timing. Talk about gaming. I play a lot of video games. Well, I play one video game a lot.
One video game that came out 7 years ago.
Yes.
It was the flagship.
And there's a little bit of a delay in the audio.
There's a delay and you're getting to the point.
Yeah. So, I have these great jokes. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I can't drop them because somebody else is talking or nobody's going to hear it.
It's a tough platform
It
to
is.
entertain the gaming community, and especially when there's like a 5-second delay.
Right.
That's a problem.
As many of you may or may not know, some of our friends know, because I'm imagining that this first run, it's only going to be our friends that are going to listen to this.
Yeah, the first couple times. Then we'll start getting international viewers. All right,
Then we'll take off like a rocket, just
Exactly.
straight to the top. We'll be getting calls from KFWB.
See, that's
to
like
be the
the-
morning zoo. Hey, call us with your favorite color. It's Jeff and Aaron here.
That's the problem with me. Like, I always think big picture. Like, I have the most confidence that it's actually going to be a big thing. You got to start, obviously, with ground zero. And then I'm thinking, oh, well, we're going to get all over the world.
Well, broadcasting from a conference room in downtown Ventura is about as ground zero as you can get.
That is true. That should be humbling in and of itself.
For our friends who don't know, I am an avid cigar smoker. I love them. I want to smoke one right now. I'll probably light one when I get into my truck.
Because
I'm
save
so-
it for your lunch break. Isn't that what you typically
I'll just
do?
have another one.
You do more than one a day?
Oh, God, yes.
Really? Oh, wow.
I am running through these cigars.
You know, I want to get into it, but I just want to do it maybe once a month, twice. Well, maybe a little more than that.
That's where I started. I started once a month. Now I'm twice a day.
So there's a cigar lounge in Santa Barbara, though. Me and Curtis watched the Dodger game there. Dude, you know they're doing a 20% increase on cigar tax?
Yeah, oh
It's
my
pretty
God,
ridiculous.
yes, these stupid
I'm
Californians.
sure you're happy about that one.
You got to be the stupidest people in the world. Don't get me going on politics.
Well, it's tax. It's no big deal. I don't know how it passed, though. Whatever.
When you empower the government to confiscate money from you, you never get it back. You never get it back!
That's not true.
They take your money!
What about tax cuts? Ronald Reagan.
Tell me the last tax cut that you
I don't
saw.
know. I think-
Ronald Reagan. Were you even alive? No.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Was he even alive mentally?
There's some
No, he was a
there's
good
some discussion about that, but
He's a good guy.
yeah, there's no tax cut.
Well, Trump, we're going way too political, but he may be having a tax cut. So that's something we have to
Yeah,
look
well,
forward to.
let's pray he does. Because I can never support the confiscation of my property or my finances.
I want to see you in the end. I just have a vision of you in a room huddled up with a campfire with your guns.
My guns.
They're knocking on your door. Jeff, it's time to go. that was what you said.
I ain't coming out alive.
And then you burst out of the house and you got 4 shots to the chest. I don't know. Sorry. No, I don't want to be dark, but that's kind of the vision I have of you in the end times.
That would be my dream.
When you said
I'd rather die like that than handing my guns over and asking where should I stand now, sir? What should I do now?
what line do I stand in to get the
right.
soup of the day?
It could be dark.
It could, but
The
I think
soup of the day. Man, well, how did we get here?
well,
We are
we're a little off. But
yes. So we started a blog. We think we're funny. We don't like people who aren't funny.
See, that's the thing about the blog. That's where you write something, I think. So you're a little off on your generational. I think the
What
generation
the hell is
gap-
this?
This
Oh,
is
it's
a podcast.
Oh,
a
it's
blog's where you write an article.
Oh, isn't it a video blog or an audio blog?
A vlog. But that would be if we were looking at the
How
camera.
about an audio blog?
Could be.
I'm sure there's going to be much more to come.
Yeah, well, we're just about hitting a half hour, so I think we're almost done with our.
We didn't even get to our headlines of the day.
We didn't.
I mean, we could do a whole segment on
That's
that.
the thing. I mean, you could pick one headline. And
I'll tell you
probably
something
talk
I
about
did do this last couple of days. I had some time off. I went and saw Hacksaw Ridge. Have you seen it?
it. I heard good reviews. Is that the military
Oh,
thing?
God, great movie.
I'm just kind of tired of war movies. They're all the same.
My God. The sound you're hearing now is me slapping Aaron.
They're all the same.
These are men and women who fought for our freedom and died.
These are actors.
You must support these movies. These are actors. Okay, so Hacksaw Ridge, true story. Mel Gibson, I was a little leery because Mel can get a little cheesy.
Anti-Semitic.
Well, we'll give him some grace on that. He can get a little schmaltzy and cheesy, and the movie I'm thinking of, We Were Soldiers. I don't know. It's got to be right. I'm not a huge Michael Bay fan. You like Michael Bay movies? He did Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
he did
I know
13
Michael
Soldiers.
Bay. I have a friend who pops in my head who hates Michael Bay, and I don't want to say anything nice about him. I saw. No, he did that good movie. 13 Hours. That was a good movie.
It was, but the slow motion flag draping, dramatic music, all of that Michael Bay crap. I don't need it.
Okay, you're not a fan.
So going into this movie with Mel Gibson, I thought could be cheesy, could be good. True story. I want to see it. Watched it. Halfway through the movie, I'm thinking to myself, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And we haven't even got to the war.
Wow.
And this is the backstory. The acting was amazing. The characters were good. There wasn't cheesy music at every turn.
I was thinking the same thing on Hangover 2. Continue.
So I get done with that, and at the end they have the actual old guys who fought on this ridge.
They were in the movie?
They were not in the movie. They were the actual real-life people the movie was made after. And they're talking, and tears are running down my eyes. And spoiler alert, if you're hearing this, it's probably – Hacksaw Ridge is probably out on video by now. So he goes up there. He's a medic. He's a conscientious objector. He doesn't want to shoot a gun. So he goes up as a medic after almost being run out of the Army. He is part of this unit that has to take this high ground. They get pushed back. He stays up on this ridge and lowers 75 guys down by rope to their rescue. So he spends 2 days on this ridge lowering these guys while the Japs are running around trying to kill him. So I'm thinking this, and I'm crying. I'm watching the old guy talk about the story, and he died in 2003 or whatever. And I'm thinking, and you know who popped into my mind? Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
The
guy never registered
Delta
to vote.
Bravo of all Delta Bravos. You understand the language I'm speaking?
Yeah, I feel you.
He's a douchebag! All right, I had to get that off my chest. I think I just spit all over your
Yeah, that's I'm
laptop.
going to have to buy a new mic. It's not waterproof.
And I'm thinking, Colin Kaepernick, would you stand for the national anthem with this guy in mind? Is this somebody who would move you to respect what America stands for?
I think he's heard the argument before, and it's not getting through to him, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But at the same time, he's such a non-issue. It's not like he's
Yeah.
even contributing to his team.
I know. I know this is old news, but this is what I thought about when I saw the movie. I thought this is the man that when I hear the national anthem, I stand up to honor this type of guy.
And when you were sobbing in your seat,
Yes.
were you on your own, hopefully? Or
Yes, my wife was not there. I was
Okay.
sitting next to two elderly people who explain the movie back and forth to each other through the whole thing. Have you been to that?
Yeah,
Have you seen
that's
that
always
one?
a fun time, yeah.
What did he say?
I thought he was a good guy.
He said he hopes he makes it out alive. And I'm thinking, so do I. I hope I make it out. I hope you make it out alive, old man, because I'm about to smother you with my popcorn bag.
You got the DVD special features right with the movie. That's pretty awesome. The commentary. Fortunately.
Not to mention they showed up about 3 minutes into the movie. So anytime you show up late to the movie, confusion is set in. What's going on? Who is this guy? Where is he going? Who's this girl? Why are they there? I felt like filling them in, but I was 2 seats over, so.
No, well, you had a buffer.
And anyway, as I was sobbing, one thing I like to do is I take my tissue up within my silhouette.
You bring
'cause-
a tissue?
Well, no, I have it for the popcorn.
Oh, okay.
Like a paper towel.
That's respectful. I thought you were talking about you bring a handkerchief.
No.
Planning to cry in a movie. It's a little weird.
And I never plan to cry in a movie, but it happens a lot.
Well, yeah.
So I lift my hand up so that nobody behind me can see me wiping my eyes, and I dab my eyes because I don't want to be like this with my elbow out, like some 10-year-old, who just fell out of the tree. But yeah, anyway, good stuff.
I'll take it into consideration. I don't know if I'll see it. We'll see what happens. But
Yeah, I mean, the war part of it is not the biggest part of the movie.
so I don't get it. Were the people in the movie the old people? I'm sorry.
No, at the end of the movie, when the credits were rolling, they showed interviews of the people that were characterized by the actors in the movie.
I gotcha. Okay.
And it happens a lot with true stories.
And
It adds credibility.
Was Mel Gibson in the movie or just directing?
Just directing.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
He knows better. His days are past.
You think he's not good anymore?
He's heading to Clint Eastwood area as far as physically. He's going to be the old guy, get off my porch, or, I don't know what he's going to be.
Yeah.
But
fair enough.
It'd be interesting to see. He's not going to be the sex symbol that he's been in the past.
Well, I don't know. That's before my time, I think. I never saw the sex symbol.
Road Warrior.
I think of more Bruce Willis like that.
Lethal Weapon. You never saw Lethal Weapon? Him with the mullet? I mean...
Is he the one who, like, dislocates his shoulder and does the whole...
Exactly.
Yeah. I never saw it.
Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Well, then you missed the sex symbol days of... Mel Gibson, I believe, was actually named Sexiest Man Alive in 1990-something.
I wasn't thinking of 30-year-old sexy actors back then.
Well, you're thinking of big dongs.
Well, that's another segment.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. I'm Jeff. He's Aaron.
And this is the Jeff and Aaron Show.
Ta-da!
Jingle coming soon.